Okay, to begin with this session, today we are going to see how you can betterly manage your inbox. Without any delay, let's just get into the webinar. In today's session, Shiva SP, a teammate of mine, has joined here with me. And if you have any doubts during the session, and he will be the person who will be answering all of your questions. And I am Priyanka Ji, a product expert of Zoho Mail, and I will be the presenter of this session. I will be taking you to a tour through Zoho Mail, where I'll be showing you different features available, which will help you to manage your inbox better. So, the agenda for today is mainly we will be covering features which will help you to, do the compose section better and draft a mail better, and how you can collaborate and work with your, colleagues in your organization, and how you can kickstart with Zoho Mail when you choose this platform is all that we'll be seeing in this webinar. And as we go, you will understand it better. To start off with, I will tell you the features which will help you to kickstart with Zoho Mail. Let me get you to the UI. This is the Zoho Mail's UI, as you already know, and you will have all the list of emails that you have received here. And going to the compose section, first thing that you can do is you can you can customize the compose section itself. You have compose customization available for you. Clicking on that, here you will have a preview of the compose section. So if you feel that you want to relocate some of the options available in the display, and if you wish to, remove some of the options which is there in the display, you can do it right from here. You can just like that relocate the option by dragging and dropping it in the preferred place. And also you can relocate the icons in the compose preferences as well. And you can also change these fields to different places as in how it is convenient for you. Okay, and if at all you feel that some of the options available here, I don't want it to be in the compose section, you can simply remove them by doing the following, which is here you can see send later available for you. By clicking on the I like icon, you can remove that particular option from the compose section. And same goes for everything else. You can also remove fields in the header field and also in the toolbar. So in the toolbar, you have all the list of options available in the compose preferences. And if you wish to remove some, then you can remove it from here by clicking on the I like icon. All right. And that's about compose customization. First you have to get the compose platform ready so that you can have it in your own taste, and that will help you to betterly compose your mails, right? And then what else that you can do is going to the compose section. I'm going to show you a gist of all the preferences available for you in this particular page. Here you have options where you can change the font styles and font size. Also, you have a pin-like icon which will allow you to bring in the attachments from My Attachment, from the desktop, from Zoho Docs, and other cloud services. You can bring in the attachments and add it to your mail and then send it. Also, you have an option which is record audio. So once you click that, you can simply speak, and whatever you speak will become a content in the mail, and you can send that mail as well. And that will save you a lot of time. And then you can bring in emojis, you can change alignments, and you can bullet the points. And you also have extra options available for you, which is inserting images, inserting links. You can insert signature from here, insert templates, HTMLs, and other options available for you. So I would really recommend you to go through all of these options so that you will know what are all the options available in the compose section, so that when you compose a mail, you will have an idea how you can compose the best mail ever when you draft a mail. And finishing off with this, the last thing that I would like to cover in this particular section of the webinar, which is kicking start with Zoho Mail, adding signatures. So as you know, when you send a mail, whoever is receiving it will definitely know whoever is sending it, saying, seeing your email address, they will identify this person has sent me the mail. But adding a signature to a mail is very important because that will increase the authenticity of the mail. The signature might contain your name, your phone number, your company's name, and other such details. With that, that will increase the authenticity of the mail, and that is very necessary for you to add. So let me show you how you can add that. In the settings page, search signature. And here, clicking on the plus icon, you can give it a name for the signature, compose the signature in accordance to your preferences, and you can select one of these options, which simply states place signature above the quoted content or place the signature below the quoted content. So which simply means if the body of the mail is already drafted, if you want the signature to be below that, go with the second option, or if it has to be above that, go with the first option. And then you can associate a mail address to it, which simply means, let me just place one mail address here. So once I do that, only when I use this mail address as a from address, the signature will be included, right? So that's about this section. We saw compose customization, which will allow you to set the platform right in order for you to work effectively. And next, you have compose preferences. So there again, you saw a lot of options available for you so that you can compose the mail at its best by using those options. And then you had adding signature. Again, signature adds authenticity to your mail, so make sure you add the signature before you get started with Zoho Mail and getting started with your business emails. Moving on to the next section, you have work efficiently. So there are certain features which will allow you to work efficiently, and now I'm going to show you all of them. So this is a compose section. Let me just add a recipient to this particular mail, and yeah. And when you start a business, you might have certain templates, and you might send a lot of mails to a lot of clients with a particular template. So instead of copying that template from somewhere else and coming to this platform and pasting it, or redrafting the mail again and again and again every time you draft a mail, what you can do is you can go to the extra options here in the compose preferences, and there you will find insert templates. Clicking on that, you can simply insert a template that you wish to insert, and the template will be inserted automatically. And then you can make the changes that you want to do, and you can directly send the mail. So this will save you a lot of time. And once this is done, what else can you do to make your work even more efficient is, once I draft a mail, there are certain situations where I would be still hesitant about the mail, or I would have some doubts about the mail, or I might want my friend or my colleague to have a review of this mail before I send it. So, what we would normally do is we will copy the mail and send it to our friend. But instead of doing that, what you can do is, here you have an option called Share Draft available for you on the top right corner. Clicking on that, you can simply name any person here, tag the person here, and you can select share. Once you do that, whoever you have shared the mail with or the draft with will have access to that draft, and then they can give in all the comments and feedbacks necessary, and you can make all the changes and send the draft. So it's simple as that. Instead of forwarding the mail or copy pasting and sending it to your colleagues or taking the laptop to their places, you can simply share the draft with them by tagging them here, and they will have access to the draft and they can give in all the suggestions. So this is done as well. I have inserted the template. I have gotten review from my friend saying this is all right. And then now, next of all, what I would want is, there are again situations where you will send a mail, okay? And immediately after you send, you feel like you will regret the decision of sending the mail. You would be like, certain data in that is still wrong. I would still want to change it, or certain modification is needed to be done in the mail, or the mail was just irrelevant for the particular client and it shouldn't be sent. In that case, you can set a breathing time for the mail. So how it works is, even after you click the send button, there will be a breathing time for the mail to be actually sent to the client. So how does it work is, you have two options available for you. One is undo send. You have undo interval available for you, and you can specify a time here starting from 5 seconds to 30 seconds, and that is the only available time slot that you can fix. So once you fix that, and then when you send a mail, let's just say I'm sending it now. Once I send it, you have the undo send available for you for the specified time period. If I'm going to click on the undo send, then the mail will be not sent. Since I went through the time, I was not able to unsend it. But if you directly click on the undo send immediately, if it was in the specified time and you click on the undo send, then the mail will be reverted back and it will not be sent. I told that you have two options, right? So we saw how undo send works. And if you want even more breathing space, then you can go with outbox delay. You have a feature called outbox delay. You will have to enable it, and you can fix the time slot here, which will range more than 30 seconds. So you can, go with seconds or minutes, and then you can specify the time here. And for that period of time, when you send a mail, after you have clicked send option, the mail will go and get saved in the outbox for the specified time. And after the time has gotten over, the mail will be sent automatically. So in that specified time, if you feel like the mail is something that's not supposed to be sent, you can stop the scheduling and the mail will automatically go to the draft section. So it will be saved in the draft, and whenever you want, you can again compose it and send it. So that's how outbox delay works, which will simply allow you to have a breathing space even after you click on the send option. So now that we've seen two different scenarios, there is a third scenario, which is even after you send the mail, you might think, even after the mail is completely, successfully sent, you might want to bring back the email saying, I've sent it to the wrong client, or the data is still wrong, or you want to make some modification to the mail. In that case, you have a feature called recalling emails. So how does recalling emails work is, let me show you. Let me just paste someone in the recipient column and let me insert a template for now. All right. So once this is done, I am going to send it immediately. All right. And I will find this mail in the sent folder. Clicking on the tick option here in the sent folder, you will find the mail that has been sent, and you can find a tick like icon here. Clicking on that, you can choose to recall this email. You can see the recall option here. Click on that. It will just simply inform you that even if you recall an email, whoever you have recalled it from will be notified about this whole process, that the mail has been recalled. So you can confirm that and the mail will be successfully recalled, right? So that is another thing that you can do from the compose section. So we saw, how you can work efficiently by using these options, which is starting off, we inserted templates and then we share the draft, and then we saw a breathing period even after you select the send option. And even if you successfully sent a mail, you can still bring back the email, right? So what are the other options available for us is, let me just paste someone in the recipient tab. All right. So you have something called as reminders. So there are certain mails which are very important, and there are certain mails which are not that important. But we would not know what mail is being received for us. We would still simply, get into some work, and then we will be notified saying we received an email, and we will rush to see what email we've received. So instead of having those rush hours and having the confusions of, missing out an important email, what you can do is, here you can set a reminder. So what are all the options available for us in the reminder is, on a time, on every reply, which simply means after you send the mail, on every reply this mail gets, you will be reminded of it. And then you have, if no replies until, so you can specify a time. Until that period of time, if this mail is not being attended to by the recipient, then again you will be reminded of this particular action. So those are all the options that you can enable from here using this reminder, and you will be notified in the form of notification or mail, right? So this way you can keep a track of all the important mails instead of wasting your time checking if at all you received an important mail, or by opening an irrelevant email and wasting your time in that. You can simply set a reminder, and that will let you keep a track of those important mails. And what are the other things that you can do from here is you have secure email. So now you will be curious about what this is. Let me explain you. So, in a company, in a business, you would have a lot of confidential data. So, let's just say you are going to share some of your confidential data to some of your clients or somebody who is in need of that. So, what you can do is once you want to send that to your client, you can simply draft it here and you can choose secure pass email. So once you choose that, it will show you the expiry date. You can change the expiry date in accordance to your need: 1 day, 1 week, 1 month, or even you can customize the date, but the default will be 1 week. So what it says is, even after you send the mail to the client, after 1 week, the client will not have any access to the mail. Okay. But until that 1 week, how the person can get access to the mail is they will receive a OTP when they open the mail. So when they open the mail, they will receive a button saying open this mail. By clicking on the button, they will receive a OTP, and they have to copy paste the OTP in a redirected site, and only then they will have access to the mail. So if they refresh the page, or if they go back to some page and come back here, they will have to do the whole process again of pasting the OTP in order for them to access the mail again. In addition to that, the person will not be able to forward, copy, print, or download this mail. So this way you can have all of your data secure, and you can send confidential mails with extra security by using the secure pass emails. So, last thing that I would like to show you in this section is out of office. So, it is very important in my opinion, because in our absence, our business shouldn't be affected, right? So, let's just say a client is sending me a number of emails and I'm not attending to anything because I'm on a vacation, I'm on a sick leave, or something that I have to attend to, and I'm not able to attend to any of my mails. At that point, the client shouldn't feel like I'm being ignorant about the mails. So what I can do is I can set an out of office message, but I can give in the subject. I can simply put a message saying I'm on a vacation and I'll be getting back to the mails on a particular period of time, and I can mention the time here as well. So once I draft the mail, I can set the duration between which I will be busy. And then I can also mention the days for which this action has to take place. And here is a condition that you can fix, which is this action has to take place only if the mail that I receive is containing my address in the to field. Okay, if it is in the CC or something, you don't have to do this action. Only if my address is in the to field, you have to do this following action. If you feel so, then you can enable this condition. And then moving on, the auto response interval, can be done in three different ways. One is reply only once during the entire vacation period. So, which simply means, let's just say the client is sending you number of emails, but during the vacation period, only once will the client will receive your mail saying you are busy. That is the first option. Second option is reply to consecutive emails from the same sender every dash days. You can specify the number of days, and it simply means if the client is sending you number of emails every day, for every specified day, say 7 days here, for every 7 days, the person will receive a mail from you saying you are busy, or whatever the mail that you have composed here. And then you have reply to the same sender even for mails received on the same day, which simply means for every mail the client sends you, a out of office message will be sent to them. So that is about out of office. You can choose the account for which the action has to take place, and you can also enable out of office for specific people, for my contacts, non contacts, or everyone. All right. So I think we are done with this section. So for work efficiently section of this webinar, We saw reply with templates, which will save you a lot of time. You don't have to redraft it again and again and again, or you don't have to bring the templates from somewhere else to this platform. You can simply insert the templates and get started. And you have draft sharing. Even after you drafted the mail, if you have doubts and if you want to share it with your friends, you can directly share the mail using the draft sharing feature. And then you have undo send, and also you have outbox delay, which will simply allow the mails to have a breathing period even after the send icon is clicked. Excuse me. And then you have recalling emails. So once you send the mail, if you feel like the mails had some errors or something, and if you wish to bring back the email so that the client does not have a bad impression that the mail has some error data, then you can use the recalling emails option or feature and you can bring back a successfully sent mail. And then the last is confidential emails, and we also saw out of office, right? So confidential emails allow you to send all the secure data with extra security, and the person will not be able to access the data without the OTP that they receive. And then you have out of office. Even in your absence, you can let your client know about your absence and let them know when you can attend to their mail. So that is about how you can work efficiently. Moving on to the next section, keep it organized. So it's just the basic habit of all of ours where we will have piles and piles of mails coming to one particular folder, which mostly will be inbox, right? We do not take the time to categorize the mails, put them in different folders so that it will be neat and clean, so that we can get to the mails immediately when we want to search a particular mail. We would never do that. But let me show you certain features which will help you do this process easy. So, going to the settings, you have something called as filters. All right. Click on the new filter, give it a name. Let me give you a user case where I want to categorize mails sent by a particular client. Then I'm going to name this filter name with the client's name itself. Say client's name, and you can set conditions. So if it is going to have multiple conditions, then these condition type is something that you have to choose, saying any of these conditions, which simply means either if the condition is satisfied, then the mail will be redirected to the following folder. If all the condition is satisfied, which simply means only if both the condition is satisfied, then the mail will do the following action. And then you have advanced condition and or, which simply means either or both the condition is satisfied, then the mails have to do the following action. So you have to set this, and I'm going to say if it is, you have the conditions listed here. So you can set the condition in accordance with any of these fields, starting off with who's sending the mail, or what the subject is, or what the to address is, and attachments and its types, and when it was sent. You can use all of these fields and set the condition. I'm going to say it is being received from a particular client. So the from address contains this person's name. So if I'm going to receive mail from this person, I want the following action to take place. So what are all the actions that you can actually select is you can flag it, tag it, forward the mail, mark it as read automatically, archive the email, set a reminder for the mails, and send an auto response. You can mark it as note or task. You can delete the email directly, delete it after n days, and you can also choose to not add attachments to the attachment viewer. Let me little bit give a brief about this, which is when you receive a mail, if it has an attachment, then the attachment will automatically go get saved in a viewer called attachment viewer. So you don't have to surf through a lot of mails to get to certain attachments. You can directly go to the attachment viewer and you can search the attachments, right? So if you want to narrow down these mails and you don't want these mails attachments to be saved in the attachment viewer, then you can go with this option. And you also have other options available for you, other actions that can take place. So there are certain mails that you want to save it in the EML format in some cloud storage. Then you can use these options, which is add to Dropbox, Google Drive, OneDrive, Box, and Zoho Work Drive. Right? For now, I'm going to say move to folder marketing. Okay, so if I'm going to receive mails from this person, then it has to be moved to the folder marketing. All right. So that is done, and I'm going to save the filter. You can run this filter through the existing mails as well, so that the existing mails also will run through the filter, and it will fall in the necessary, relevant folders. Also, you can, it will be applied for all the incoming emails. So in that way, you will be able to betterly categorize the emails and let them fall in the relevant folders instead of having all the mails, coming to one particular folder, which will be inbox. So that is one way you can keep it organized. And the next thing that you can do is saved search. So let me tell you how it works. So let's just say you are, you have already created a folder which contains mails of a particular client, but still you want to search a particular mail in the folder. So you're giving, conditions such as it contains, minute, it contains this name, and it has attachments or something like that. You can also mention that. All right. So when you given all the conditions, then in accordance to those conditions, the mails will be narrowed down. And it does not necessarily need you to all the times paste the conditions there and get the mails narrowed down and then get to the mails. But instead of doing that, you can save the search once and for all. You have the option available here saying save this search. Click on that, and this particular search will be saved, and then you can find the saved searches here in the bottom. On the left pane below the views, you will find saved searches, and there you can easily get to the saved searches like campaigns, or I have saved a particular search, which is if it is being received from Rebecca and sent to Paula, I want this particular mails to be listed. So here the conditions are pasted immediately, and then I can narrow down and get to the mails. So this will again save a lot of time for you, and it will let you keep it organized. And the last thing that we will be seeing in this particular section is scrubbing. So there are certain situations where we will use our mail address to subscribe to certain websites or apps. So at that point, those apps and websites will take the leverage of sending you a lot of updates about their websites and apps, and it will be received in your inbox. But we will not know it is being sent from an app. We would be like, I just received a mail, I have to get to it, and we will simply open it and see, and the mail will simply read like 50% off or some offers been given. And without even realizing, you would have wasted 2 minutes of your time. So in order to avoid that, what you can do is you can unsubscribe to those apps. Also, to keep it organized, what you can do is click on this particular mail. Let's just say this mail is being received from a app. All right. So once you click on one particular mail, by clicking on three dots, you have an option called scrub. All right. So this will allow you to delete all the mails received from this particular from address. You can either delete it or archive it. All right. So instead of, normally what we would do is we will search in accordance with the condition, and then we will get the mails narrowed down, and then we will select it all and then delete it. So it's a long process. But instead of doing that, you can simply click on the recent mail, click on scrub, and then you can directly delete it. All right. So that will allow you to eliminate all the unwanted mails from your inbox or relevant folders, and you can keep it organized that way as well. All right. In keep it organized section of this webinar, we saw Saved searches, which will allow you to save the important searches and you can get to them easily instead of pasting the conditions every time you do the search. And then you have filters, which will allow you to categorize your mails, and if you want to save it in the EMLs in cloud services, you can do that. If you want to, let the incoming mails fall in a particular folder in accordance with certain conditions, you can do that. You can do all sorts of those processes easily, automate them using the filters option. And then you have scrubbing. So scrubbing lets your inbox look neat by eliminating all the unwanted emails. You don't have to narrow down and stuff like that. Just click on the recent unwanted email sent from the from address and you can directly click on the scrub and delete it. All right. So that's about the section of the webinar. Moving on to the next, which is waste no time. This is the important part of this webinar, I would say that, because there are certain features available which will help you to save a lot of time. So there are certain processes that we would do in the mail that we will not realize is consuming our time. So let me show you how you can save time in this platform. So let me open a received mail. All right. So this is a mail that I have received. Let's just say I have received this mail from my manager. Okay. I'm going to add this mail as a task. You have this option available for you on the top saying add to task, add it to an event in a calendar, or add to notes. But it doesn't necessarily mean that the whole content of the mail is going to be my note or event or task. Maybe a certain phrase or certain word could be the task, or whatever is necessary to add it as a task. So what you can do is you can simply drag and select the content of the mail which you would like to add as a task. You will get a pop-up which will allow you to add it as a post in the streams, create a note, create task, and also create event in the calendar. All right. You don't have to toggle between different apps in order for you to, add these in those apps. Instead of doing that, you can simply drag and select the particular phrase and you will have a pop-up and directly from here you can add them. All right. And then moving on to the next thing, which is adding contacts. So once you receive a mail, you might have certain mails received from certain clients who will be very important, but you wouldn't have added them to the contact section yet. If you wish to add them to the contacts, instead of going to the particular platform, pasting their email address and then adding them, you can do it right from here. Click on the person's email address and you will be listed with the option called add to contact. Since this person is already a contact, it is not listed here. But if the person is not added to the contact section, then you will have an option listed here saying add to contact. By clicking on that, you can directly add this person to the contact section. And you also have other options listed here, such as list emails from contact. So this option is available, which will let you to see all the emails sent by this contact. And then you also have list attachments from this contact. So if you want to just see the attachments that were sent by this contact, you can go with that option as well. All right. And then moving on to the next thing, which is offline mode. Go to the settings and get the offline mode option. So how does this work and how it is going to save time for you is something that I'm going to explain before we get to this option. So there are certain scenarios where we will not have internet connection, but we would still want to work. We cannot waste that time. We cannot sit idle and wait for the internet connection to, be back live. So at that point, what you can do is you can go to the settings option and you can enable this offline mode. Once you do that, you can compose mails and you can send it as well, and it will be saved. So once the internet connection is back to live, whatever mails you have composed and clicked on send will be sent automatically. Also, if you wish to go through the mails that you have received, then you can enable this. You have something called as offline settings and save emails from the last 7 days, 14 days, and 30 days. You can specify the day, whichever is preferred for you. And those emails will be auto saved and kept downloaded for your use. And once you lose internet connection, you will still have access to those emails. If you want to include attachments as well, make sure to enable this option and click on OK. So once this is done, even the attachments will be loaded and kept ready for you when you go offline. So you don't have to waste time when you don't have your internet connection. So that is about this particular section. And waste no time, we saw integrations, which simply means when you want to add some of the phrases that you have received in the mail as a event or a contact or event or a note, or add it as a post, you can directly do it from the inbox itself. And then you have adding contacts. So if you want to directly add the person as a contact from the inbox, you can directly do it from there. And you can also narrow down and see all the mails sent by that contact, and also you can see all the attachments sent by the contact right by clicking on their email address. And then you have offline mode. So even when you do not have the internet connection, you can still work by using this offline mode. All right. Moving on to the next section, you have collaborate and work. This is my favorite part because it is very necessary. Mail has become a day-to-day activity of ours, and it is the platform which allows you to connect and communicate with your professional circle. So when you draft a mail and send it, it is not a light work, it has to be a perfect one. So you might want to get suggestions, feedbacks, and error checking done by your friend before you send it, right? So collaborate and work will help you do just that. Let me show you. Okay, we also saw something called as draft sharing before. So draft sharing also comes under collaborate and work, which will allow you to send your draft to your friends, let them review it, given all the suggestions, and you can make changes to the draft and send it. Same goes here. You have email sharing available for you. So let's just say I'm opening a mail and I'm receiving it from a particular client, and my friend knows or my colleague knows better about this client. Then I can simply tag the person in the comment box and save it. Okay. Once I share it with them, then whoever I have tagged will have access to that mail, and they will give in all the suggestions and feedbacks, and in accordance with that I can draft a mail and send to this person. That is one way of sharing. There is also scenarios where I might have received a number of emails from the client, and I can't be sitting and sharing every email the person has sent it to me, right? So instead of doing that, what I can do is I can use the filters option. I can narrow down all the mails that were sent by this client, and I can put it in a folder using the filters option. And once I do that, I can share that folder with my colleague. Okay, how do I do it is, let's just say we've created a folder and we have put in all the important mails in that using the filters feature. And now by right clicking on the particular folder, you have share folder available for you. So once you click on that, sorry. So once you click on that, you will be able to share the folder with your friend. You also have something called as mailbox delegation. So how does that work is, let me show you. So here I'm going to tag a person saying this friend has to have access to this folder. So if it is going to have options such as read here, then this person will only have access to read those mails. They will not have access to do anything else to those mails in the folder. But I said something called as mailbox delegation, deny. So by clicking on the drop down, you can select write and you can enable this email delegation. Once you do that, this Paula friend of mine will be able to Also, reply to those mails sent to the folder behalf of me by using this from address, right? So that's called mailbox delegation. So this will help you to collaborate and work effectively. In this section of the webinar, we saw mailbox delegation, which will allow you to share your folder with your friend and they will be able to reply behalf of you instead of you being absent in that particular period of time and not attending to those mails. You can simply share your folder and the friend of yours can reply behalf of you. And then you have email sharing. So if it's a specific email that you would like to share to your friend and get some feedbacks, you can use this feature and you can share it with your friend. And then you can also make use of this folder sharing. So if you want to just share the folder and give access for your colleague to read those mails in the folder, you can go with folder sharing and you can give them this access. Yes, now we've come to the last section of the webinar, which is miscellaneous features, which you would really be excited to use. The first feature is going to be snooze. So how does snooze work is, in the initial part of the webinar, we saw how you can set reminders, right? So you will receive the reminders here. You can see a bell-like icon here on the top. Clicking on that, you can see all the reminders. And once you receive a reminder, you will have an option called snooze there. By clicking on snooze, the the reminder will be snoozed. And again, after the specified time, the reminder will be, uh, will be appearing in the notification again. And then you have sticky notes, which you can make use of. Go to the notes, and if at all you've saved an important note and if you wish to have a glance of it every time you move between suites, then you can make use of this. I'm going to add this as a sticky note. Just a minute, it's loading. Let me refresh the page for once. All right. Now I'm going to click on the sticky note, which is top left corner. You have an option such as this. By clicking on that, the note will become a sticky note and it will appear on the screen. You can place it anywhere you want on the screen. Sorry. And you can toggle between the different suites. And the sticky note will stay in its place and lets you to remember all the important points that you wish to remember. All right. If you wish to remove it, then you can again click on the remove sticky icon and remove it. And then you have themes. So going to the settings option, search for themes. And you can change colors, whatever you want to change, and you can save it. You can see that the color is changing here. And you can change colors and you can save it. In order to make it even more appealing for you, you can change the colors and you can save it in accordance to your need. And then you have light and dark mode. So how do you get access to that is, most of us do like to work in the dark mode, right? So on the right side pane, in the bottom, you will find a sun-like icon. Click on that. And that will allow you to change between light and dark mode. All right. So that's about the miscellaneous features.